The FIFA World Cup, the single biggest sporting event on planet Earth. 5 billion people watching, 48 nations, 104 games, 3 host countries, and billions of dollars on the line. This was supposed to be the greatest World Cup in history. But before a single ball was kicked, it had already become the most controversial tournament in football history. Fans banned from watching their own teams, a referee turned away at the border, ticket prices so high that the stands were half empty, stadium workers threatening to strike, and a team forced to train in a different country. Today, we're breaking down exactly how this happened and what it means for the future of football. Imagine qualifying for the World Cup. Your country, for the first time ever, is on football's biggest stage. You save up for months to buy a ticket, you apply for a visa, and then the United States government says no. That's exactly what happened to fans from Ivory Coast and Senegal. US officials denied their visa applications and reportedly told them explicitly that they weren't wanted on American soil. At least 4 competing countries, Haiti, Iran, Ivory Coast, and Senegal, were subject to a full travel ban on fans. Not players, fans. For Haiti, a country playing in their first World Cup in over 50 years, this was devastating. Their fans, living through one of the most turbulent periods in their nation's history, had found something to celebrate, and they couldn't even be there to see it. The backlash was immediate. Over 120 human rights organizations issued travel warnings for the tournament. An online petition in the Netherlands alone gathered 174,000 signatures calling for a boycott. Human Rights Watch and Amnesty International publicly called on FIFA to act. And FIFA's response? Quote, FIFA is not involved in the immigration processes of host countries. That's it. The governing body of world football washing their hands of the whole thing.
And the numbers don't lie. In the resale market alone, 176,000 unsold tickets were still available during the opening group stage. The opening matches in the US and Canada weren't even sold out. This is the World Cup. Seats should not be empty. But it wasn't just fans. The chaos reached inside the tournament itself. Omar Artan, a Somali referee, trained, qualified, selected by FIFA to officiate matches at the 2026 World Cup. He arrived at a US airport and was denied entry. He never got to referee a single game. Back home in Mogadishu, fans held up photos of him in solidarity. Then there was Iraqi striker Ayman Hussein. He arrived at O'Hare International Airport in Chicago to play in the World Cup and was detained for 7 hours before being allowed in. Iran's situation was the most extreme. Portions of their coaching and administrative staff were denied visas entirely. The team's training base was moved from Tucson, Arizona to Tijuana, Mexico. They were training in a different country to play in a World Cup hosted by the United States. After Iran's opening game, a 2-2 draw with New Zealand, US officials reportedly ordered the team back to Tijuana immediately. Not the next day, right then. And one player's visa expired the moment he crossed back into Mexico. FIFA had to scramble to get it reissued for the next game.
Even if you could get a visa, could you afford to go? When the United States, Canada, and Mexico won the final would cost a maximum of $1,550. That was in the official bid document, signed, submitted to FIFA. By April 2026, the cheapest standard final ticket was $5,785. One front row seat sold for $32,970. FIFA introduced dynamic pricing, the same model airlines and concert venues use, where prices surge based on demand. Great for revenue, terrible for the working class football fans who supported their countries their entire lives. And in the middle of all this, FIFA tried to ban reusable water bottles from stadiums in extreme summer heat across venues in Texas, California, and Florida. After a massive public backlash from fans, health experts, and politicians, they partially reversed the decision, allowing one small sealed bottle per person. One. FIFA had promised a $40 billion economic windfall for the US, but with empty seats, visa bans, and fans too scared or too broke to attend, that windfall is looking a lot smaller than advertised. While all of this was happening above the surface, below it, the people who actually run a World Cup were in crisis. Nearly 2,000 food service workers at SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, the venue hosting 8 World Cup matches, including the USA's opening game, voted 96% in favor of authorizing a strike. They had been working for a full year without a contract. Their biggest concern wasn't even wages, it was ice. The Department of Homeland Security confirmed that immigration enforcement agents would be present at World Cup venues. Workers, many of them immigrants themselves, were terrified of being detained while just doing their jobs. Secretary of State Rubio told Miami's host committee that ICE would not be at stadiums. Days later, the Homeland Security Secretary said the opposite, that ICE agents would be there and that immigration enforcement was always on the table. The left hand and the right hand of the U.S. government didn't even know what each other were saying. A last-minute agreement was reached 3 days before SoFi's first match, including a clause allowing workers to walk off the job if they felt ICE posed a direct threat during a game. Think about that, a World Cup venue with a potential mid-match worker strike clause built into its contract. What does this mean for football? Here's the thing. On the pitch, the football has been extraordinary. Messi scoring a hat trick on the 20th anniversary of his World Cup debut. Mbappe lighting up France's opener. Underdogs making noise. The beautiful game doing what it always does. But off the pitch, this World Cup has exposed a fundamental tension. FIFA says the World Cup is for everyone, but the host country gets to decide who everyone actually is. And when politics and football collide at this scale, the fans always lose. FIFA will pocket its billions, the players will play, and in July, someone will lift that trophy. But the people who had their visas denied, the referee who never got to blow his whistle, the workers who almost walked out, they'll remember this World Cup very differently. The question is, will FIFA? If you made it this far, drop a comment. Do you think FIFA should have chosen